best budget phone out this year.
CMF Phone 2 Pro. Search now on Flipkart.
राहुल तेरी वजह से पूरा प्लान कैंसिल हो गया।
अरे भाई
रहने दे।
सुन, बडीज के साथ क्रिकेट स्क्रीनिंग का प्लान बनना फास्ट, सेम प्लान कैंसिल होना उससे भी फास्ट। उसी क्रिकेट मैच के स्कोर अपडेट्स ESPN क्रिक इन्फो पे मिलना सुपर फास्ट। सुपर फास्ट स्कोर अपडेट्स के साथ और भी बहुत कुछ मिलेगा।
For fast scores and a lot more, download the ESPN Crick Info app now.
Well, Shaheen Shah Afridi gives Pakistan's first innings batting effort some degree of respectability, but they still finish 127 for 9. At one stage, it just looked like they weren't even going to get close to that, and India continue to have great impact with this Kuldeep Yadav and Varun Chakravarti led bowling lineup. But there's so much to unpack in what was disappointing batting effort after winning the toss and batting first from Salman Ali Agha. This is CMF by Nothing presents ESPN Cricket Info Timeout in this India-Pakistan clash at half-time. Sanjay, Bangar, Aakash, Chopra, and we'll hear from Wahab, Riaz. I wonder if you want to hear from Wahab, Riaz before I come to the two of you. Yeah? Yes. Wahab, are you there? Wahab, I mean, thank God for left-arm fast bowlers who can bat like yourself. No? Shaheen Shah Afridi gets 33. But take me through your thoughts. I'm sure there was like, oh God, what's going on, during that batting effort?
Yes, I'm a little bit disappointed from the batting lineup. I think new ball was very important, as we discussed before, that the first 6 overs will set the tone for the team. And going after the bowlers are fine, but you have to just see 1 or 2 overs how the swing works, because it was swinging and they were bowling the right channel. India was good enough to take wickets in the first power play, and then until Fafa was there, seems like the things are going well. But as soon as he got out, I think then there was a lot of they just stopped a bit in a way that they were not even taking singles. I know when you lose wickets, it's hard that you don't hit boundaries, but you have to rotate the strike. You don't let the opposition come on to you and try to maneuver you the way they wanted to, and that's where India was so good. That they put the pressure with their spinners and they didn't let them take even any easy singles. So overall, I think there was some disappointment from the batting lineup. But see, again, in the end, there was something coming from Shaheen Shah, because obviously he's a fast bowler. He doesn't have that pressure to make runs, but he has shown that if you go after the bowlers, or if you take that charge and you play with a little bit more fearlessly, you can score runs. So in the end, I think we haven't scored that much, but still something for the bowlers to go with.
Yeah, I think the key phrase that Wahab used as well, dot balls. Now, Mr. Bangar, when you're a coach, you always do some calculations of, all right, if you're going to get so many boundaries, and must say, some of the 6 hitting was very nice in isolation to watch. 63 dot balls.
I mean, that's asking for trouble. I mean, you take a game wherein you hit maybe 20 boundaries and 10 sixes, but there are still 90 balls with what you have to deal with, and that's where you can optimize and get the team to a score wherein you can put up a fight. So in the midst of all this talk about 6 hitting and how many sixes Pakistan are hitting of late, that's where you sort of think of the value that maybe a Babar Azam or a Mohammad Rizwan can bring to this particular team. So I don't think that any of the other batters showed that they had the similar skill sets which would replicate the skill sets that Rizwan and Babar has.
I know that a number of people, including Wasim Akram, Wahab, would know this, said I'm fed up of answering Babar Rizwan questions, talk about who's in the team, but I'm sure Babar and Rizwan sitting and watching this are watching Sahibzada Farhan, who's young, and I don't want to be too harsh on him, but when he's going less than a run a ball throughout, 40 or 44, just thinking, right, what's going on over here?
So dot balls. See, the thing is, if you're not reading spin from the hand to begin with, yes, there will be talk about aggression. There is a talk about changing it, or rather playing a different brand of cricket. But spin will embarrass you. See, it's not as easy. Just you put the ball in the gaps and take singles and rotate strike. Yes, that can happen if you're reading the ball from the hand. Your feet are moving nicely. You're getting in the right position. Then you are able to actually push the ball in the gaps. And then, of course, an occasional boundary will follow. But if you're now searching which way the ball is going to turn, and your first thought in the mind is to protect your wicket because you have no idea, then singles are not going to come by. So that exactly has happened with this Pakistan batting lineup, unfortunately, that they just look clueless. initially went too hard too soon to begin with, because again there's an obligation. You win the toss, you bat first, you've picked different people. Now the obligation is now go hell for leather. Okay, fine, you can try doing that. And they were 42 in the first 6 overs after going hell for leather. But after those 6 overs, in the next 10, I think they got 40 odd runs. And those 40 runs, that is where all those dot balls had also come from Kuldeep, from Akshar, from Varun Chakravarti, because they're just not reading it from the hand.
Wahab, jump in on this as well. Sanjay and Aakash make some interesting points. Sanjay speaks of the value of that one anchor, and then you can have ultra aggressive batters around him. But Sahibzada Farhan batted almost 15, 16 overs of that innings. Now, we could see what Pakistan were trying to do. They were trying to take down the spin, and I'm sure a number of batters have gotten out trying to hit sixes. What was the balance that they didn't get right?
See, if I continue what Akash Bhai was saying, I believe that it's not the matter of picking them from the hand, but it is that the way they were playing, they were just looking to go after the boundaries. So if the mindset is to go after the boundaries, you don't even look to play the ball on merit. And if you're not going to play the ball on the merit, these things will happen. That's why they look more clueless to me. That every time they were trying to hit the ball hard, even though if you see few of the singles, they were one bounce shots to the fielders. So that means they were just thinking about going for the boundaries. Yes, boundaries are important, but you need to know that you have to pick and choose. You cannot go after each and every ball, and that's where they made it wrong. Yes, I'll say it was difficult, a little bit difficult for Varun, but obviously because they have Sufyan Mukim, he's also a left armour, same as Kuldeep. It shouldn't have troubled that much, but yes, Varun might be a little bit. But again, you need to plan your innings, and the planning was missing. As Bangar said, that they need somebody to play an anchor role. It's not about going for boundaries. It's about to build up the innings. And if you have scored, see, if there was a good partnership up there from over number 7 to over number 16, where they have scored 40 runs in the next 10 overs, even though if we would have gone run a ball, it would have been 150. And you never know, then the opposition might comes into a little bit of pressure, like if you can hit last 4 overs for 40 runs, so you targeted the runs about 170 plus, like that.
Okay, who wants to help me understand Sahibzada Farhan's innings? 40 or 44, and if you just look at his highlights reel, you think this is one of the great innings, because he's actually played some amazing shots to Jasprit Bumrah in particular. 3 sixes, and he's still striking at 90.
I think it's not necessarily what is happening at your end. What is happening at the other end also has an impact on his kind of approach, because here he was batting, and at every time you would have thought that, okay, I can maybe take the aggressive route or try and put the accelerator on. But the thing is that you keep on losing your partners at the other end, which means that you still have to delay the assault a little bit. So I think he could have done better, certainly better, but the wickets at the other end kept falling, didn't really help his cause.
So I've seen a bit of Sahibzada
Farhan.
And
he was run a ball last game.
So last game again run a ball, here again run a ball, but and Wahab will probably validate or add more to it. I've seen in the domestic T20, very smashing. Like smashing and how, and your jaw drops. But then you also see that the pitches in Pakistan in general are like roads. The ball comes onto the bat nicely, and you just can play through the line quite easily, and you score the runs. So when the ball has come onto the bat nicely, he's hit sixes. So it's not that he hasn't hit sixes. When he hits, it stays hit. The shot against Bumrah was outstanding. But on pitches where the ball is holding a little, that is where your multi skills are actually tested. One is, of course, your hitting ability, and 2 is to actually adjust your game according to the speed of the pitch, whatever the ball is being offered after pitching. I think he's got a very good attacking game, aggressive game on flattish pitches. But the moment ball starts stopping a little, I think he was found wanting, whether it was in this game or in the previous game, because these Dubai pitches are not your flat pitches, the cemented tracks that you tend to get in a lot of white ball cricket.
But generally, I mean, even in this particular match, if you look at the pitch, how it has behaved, I don't think any of the ball really spun that square or stopped that much, which would have caused doubts in the batsman's mind. So it was, in my opinion, not necessarily the pitch that was this game was played on, but also the number of wickets which were lost from the other end. Otherwise, you think of this being a 170-ish target. you could still make a match of it.
Wahab, anything to add before we move to India's bowling?
Yes, I think I'll agree with Sanjay bhai that Pakistan should have looked for scoring some singles. Sahibzada, yes, he was there for a long time, and as an opener, if I assess, and you are playing at least 12 to 14 overs, you have to go more than run a ball, whatever the conditions or whatever the situation is, because taking singles won't stop you. Even though if you see he has hit some boundaries, but he couldn't converted those dot balls into singles, where I think it lagged his innings a bit. And yes, Dubai will not let you play shots freely. You have to build your innings accordingly.
All right, let's give full credit to India's bowling here. And the spin trio seems to be working wonders. Now, we've spoken plenty of Kuldeep Yadav, which we'll come to. But how about I start with Akshar Patel? 2 for 18, including Fakhar Zaman. Left-hander would have been an unfavourable matchup, you'd think. Akshar Patel, 2 for 18.
And he was held back actually because of Fakhar Zaman's presence, because otherwise you'd see Akshar actually bowling at least an over or two in the power play overs. He was held back, waited for the field restrictions to be lifted. First over that he bowls to Fakhar Zaman, he dismisses him. And that's the quality with Akshar Patel, and flies under the radar because he's your conventional left-arm spinner. But whatever we have seen of Akshar in the last 24 months, he hasn't put a foot wrong. That is why he was elevated to the position of being the vice captain of the side. He also brings a lot with the bat. But since we're talking about his bowling, I think extremely underrated. Knows the way to actually control a T20 innings, irrespective of the phase of the innings till the 16th over. After which, of course, he won't be as effective. But whether you give him the new ball and ask him to do a job in the power play overs, he'll do that. You bring him in the middle, he will not concede a lot of runs. He's actually very effective.
Yeah. Akshar? Anything to add? Otherwise, we can talk Kuldeep.
The number of times he gets a batsman by drifting the ball away, and more so the left-handers, because you see that some bowlers do create an angle by bowling that wider line, but here the ball which dismissed Fakhar Zaman actually started from a leg stump line, but it continued to drift away from him. So that is one aspect which is pretty hard to deal with, and that is the reason why he becomes successful even against the left-handers. And I've at times experienced that him actually wanting to bowl to somebody like a Chris Gayle when he was really at the top of his game. So the temperament helps, but his belief in his own skill sets, and he doesn't go away from that, also gives him the best chance to succeed, because he doesn't really try too many things.
All right, Wahab, Kuldeep Yadav, thoughts? 3 for 18.
He has been amazing. He has always been very successful against Pakistan. If you take the games out, I think he's got more control. He's got more sense in a way that he's one step ahead of the batsman. He knows what batsman is thinking, and he's just a step ahead of him, and he traps the batsman beautifully. Like if you see, he knows Sahibzada will go after him, so he gave him a little bit of that flight, but not as close to him, a little bit far, because he's going to go, and where he go and what by that wicket. And even though once Shaheen hit him for the 6, and then suddenly he started to bowl, a little bit shorter, a little bit faster. So, as a bowler, he has that command. And we have seen over the past few years now that since his comeback, he is one of the main weapons for Indian cricket. And he has done wonders for them. And that's, again, what was required. He just did it.
Yeah, I mean, this is also turning out to be really good for the management, that with every game, it's not like you're missing an extra fast bowler. You can see the impact of it. It's only 2 games, and Pakistan have hardly given India as a challenge, nor did the UAE. I'm sure there are more questions that we'll come to the end of the game, but let's go to the chase now, as Abhishek Sharma and Shubman Gill ready. Anything to suggest that this could be tricky as a chase?
No.
No?
No.
Straightforward?
Straightforward.
You did, okay. On that note, what does Pakistan do to make a game out of this? Because Abhishek Sharma is going to take the bowling on. Do we see a Sufyan Mukim come in earlier than usual?
I mean, Shaheen to start the innings from where he had left with the bat, pick up a couple of wickets.
Yeah, actually, sorry, but we should talk about Shaheen Shah Afridi's batting.
Yeah, he batted beautifully. Otherwise, it was not even 128, 127. They would have finished with 105.
Yeah.
So some lusty blows towards the end, used the long handle nicely. And if there was anything that India perhaps did not do right, or there was one area that you want to really be nitpicking about, that was Hardik Pandya bowling the 20th over. Then you can say, okay, this is one area maybe India needs to, in some games, think about. Otherwise, India was absolutely impeccable, but coming to Pakistan, the only way for them to create a game out of this is Shaheen picking a couple of wickets, then a lot of spin from the other end, of course, and India is reduced to 3 or 4 wickets in the 6 overs. If that doesn't happen, this is a 12-over game.
Oh, okay. Wahab, you can just jump in on Shaheen Shah Afridi's batting. I'm sure you know how much a fast bowler enjoys a good day with the bat, and that now I think is his highest T20 score as well.
I think he played beautifully. I think the one he picked one over a long off, that was an excellent shot, and he has that ability to score runs, and he is a very confident guy, and he has his contribution has really given something to the bowlers. I know it's not that much, but still something to the bowlers to play with or play around.
Prediction, Wahab, you see Pakistan making this tricky for India in any way?
I think I had a bad day at the office right now. No prediction from me.
Mr. Bangar, last word from you. Aakash says 12 over chase. Wahab is not putting the curse on his predictions anymore. How do you see this innings going?
Yeah, I would say 12-13 over mark. That's where India would cross this tiny score of Pakistan and make sure that this is a dominating win for India.
The only reason I'd like a couple of wickets is to see where
Sanju bats.
Yeah, all right. And on that note, thank you very much to Wahab, Riaz, Sanjay, Bangar and Aakash Chopra. Thoughts from these fine gentlemen after the India-Pakistan clash has come to an end. It's India's game, we think, and our win probability puts India nearly 80% going into the chase. So join us for post-match comments where we welcome your questions as well on CMF by Nothing presents ESPN Cricket for Timeout.
Best budger thrown out this year.
CMF Phone 2 Pro. Search